Hi friends, I am Mervin Fernandez, a chartered accountant by profession, qualified from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. In this short video, we are going to discuss about the topic assignment of proceeds. Assignment of proceeds, shortly referred to as AOP, is an instruction given by the beneficiary of a letter of credit authorizing the full or part payment of the proceeds due under the LC to a third party. I have done a short video on letter of credit where I have mentioned what is an LC and how the whole process of an LC functions. The link of the same is given in the description box below. Kindly refer to the same so that you can get a better understanding of the AOP as well. As mentioned in the definition, AOP is an instruction given by the beneficiary of an LC to a third party. So the main two participants in an AOP is the beneficiary of the LC and the third party. The person who gives the instruction to a third party is called the assigner, and the person to whom the instruction is given is referred to as the assignee. And this instruction is transmitted through their respective banks. So assigner's bank and the assignee's bank are also the participants of such a process. So the four participants involved are assigner, assignee, assigner's bank and assignee bank. Now let's go through the process of an AOP. The process of an AOP starts when a LC is being received by the seller in a trade transaction. The seller in a trade transaction who receives the LC from his customer is referred to as the beneficiary of the LC. Once he gets this LC from his customer, he needs to make a payment to his supplier. The payment to the supplier can be against the same order that is covered under the LC, or it can be against other orders as well. So what he does is that he approaches his bank, he applies for an assignment of proceeds against the LC that has been received. The application for the same has to be done in the prescribed format of the bank, where the details of the LC, the supplier details and the supplier's bank details has to be provided for. The bank processes this application and it acknowledges the assignment of proceeds to the assignee's bank via a SWIFT message, and that message is being communicated by the assignee bank to the supplier. The amount of the AOP has to be within the limits of the LC. That means it can be either for the full amount of the LC or it can be lesser than the LC amount. The SWIFT message of the AOP would state that as per the request of the assigner, an assignment has been served to the supplier and that the payment against this assignment would be made upon receiving the proceeds from the letter of credit. Now the sale of the goods happens, the documents of the LC are being submitted by the beneficiary to the applicant accepts these documents and an acceptance advice is being sent to the beneficiary bank. And that would state that this LC is maturing to be paid on such and such date. On the maturity date of the LC, when the proceeds are being received by the beneficiary bank, the amount that is assigned to the third party supplier will automatically be transferred to the assignee bank, and the assignee bank will credit the supplier's account for the said amount. And the balance, if any, available after the assignment would be credited into the beneficiary's bank account. For example, if the LC documents that are submitted are for 10,000 and there is an assignment of 3,000 against this LC, once the LC proceeds of 10,000 is being received by the beneficiary bank, 3,000 will be automatically transferred to the assignee bank and would be ultimately credited to the supplier's bank account, that is the assignee. And the balance of 7,000 would be credited to the beneficiary's bank account. This is how the whole process of an assignment of proceeds work. There can be cases where the beneficiary may apply for a discounting where the proceeds would be received prior to the maturity date. Here, when the LC is being discounted and the proceeds are received, the assigned amount would be transferred directly to the supplier. AOP does not limit the assignment to the maturity date alone. Assignment of proceeds is a method of paying a supplier where a beneficiary of an LC, he does not have facilities to be utilized. The only limitation in an assignment of proceeds is that the supplier will not be guaranteed of his payment because the bank does not undertake to pay the supplier unless they receive the money from the LC. I hope you have understood what is an assignment of proceeds and how the whole process of an assignment functions. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.